I love this Buddhist chanting and the background music thing. I hope you guys appreciate it too. It's very relaxing for me. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and do yet another reading for today. Oh, my name is Ron. This is Becoming Enlightened Together. And we're going to do a daily rune reading. For today is Wednesday the 28th. And the overall energy, as it has been all week so far, is Algiz in the upright. Very powerful rune. Um, Basically, Winston Churchill himself actually made this very popular and famous back in the late 30s, early 40s during World War II. He was the Prime Minister of England and so on at that time, and he used to flash his peace sign and things like that, where it was adopted later on as a peace sign. But it's a, it's a sigil of sorts. It's basically flashing the Algiz sign, so to speak. I guess it would be more accurately if you were to do it this way, but what I've read is that indeed is what he was trying to convey. Now, Algiz being, basically one of the more powerful Nordic runes, talks about the soul and optimism and aspirations. It talks about fortunate soul. It talks about protection, the protective urge, to shield others and oneself, acting as a shield, so to speak. It talks about defense and the warding off of evil. It talks about awakening and enlightenment, a connection with the gods. It talks about listening and following your intuition, keeping hold of success won or earned. It talks about enlightenment and so on. It's very positive in terms of physical preparedness and the ability to basically ward off and defend against any type of attacks, whether they're physical, spiritual, or what have you. And it talks about also a deeper spiritual connection with the higher forces. Okay, so very, very powerful. Now, for the past and present energy, we've pulled exactly the same rune in exactly the same position. So we got a very powerful rune, but it is in the reverse twice. Urus. And I have this one tattooed on my chest. Typically talks about strength, vitality, male sexuality, all that kind of stuff. But in the reverse, it talks about having a weak will, low energy, illness even. It talks about obsessions and misdirected forces, domination by others, lust, inconsistency, ignorance, brutality, and violence. So basically, somebody is absolutely in the lowest vibration imaginable, completely prone to all of their baser instincts, incapable of handling their emotions at this point. And that, again, was the past energy for today that we pulled on Sunday, as well as the actual energy for today. And the odds against it is pretty high. It's only happened one other time, one other reading I've done over the last 6 months. So, all right. So that's the energy for the past and for the present. Now, what we have as far as the obstacles and challenges is actually in the upright, and it's Engwas. Now, Engwas is the twin of the goddess Freya, and it's her brother Freyr. Now, Freyr is the great earth god. Ing was another way that they used to speak of him, or his name. In fact, this particular rune is the ing in their alphabet, so to speak. So what does it mean in the upright? It talks about potentiality, freedom, the hero, conclusions and consequences, male fertility and gestation, internal growth, common virtues, strength, family love, common sense. Now, why would that be in their obstacles and challenges? Well, the way I'm seeing this, especially with Urus, for both the past and present energy being in the reverse, is that maybe somebody was listening to people that they love or ordinarily should love them. Family members, very close friends, could be you know, extended family, whatever the case may be, who has been leading them astray. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. That's why Ingwaz is in the upright, where the others are in the reverse. Now, what we have under the help and advice is Kanaz. Kanaz, we've seen twice this week already. I have this one tattooed on my hand as it talks about creativity, things of that nature. So it talks about the energy, torch, that light bulb going off over your head kind of a thing. Vision and revelations, knowledge, positivity, creativity, the creative urge, technical abilities, harnessed power, power being available either now or in the very near future to create your own reality. Rapport, lust, passion, sexual love. And again, those things are not bad. They're not evil or anything like that. Anything done in balance for the most part. Now, of course, that doesn't mean literally everything under the stars you do in moderation is still considered to be okay, because some things you can do and they're not good for you at all or anybody else around you. So use common sense, obviously. But things that are natural, such as, physical relations with other people and things like that, if they're consensual and so on, and you're not doing something that's, like I said, harming another human being or doing something completely out of balance, then there's nothing wrong with it, okay? And enjoy it, learn from it, whatever, So that's your help and advice, and that's what it's telling you to do, okay? We're here to not only learn in this life, but also to enjoy the little things along the way. So there's nothing wrong with that, like I said. But if you're committed to somebody, and don't lead anybody astray, for God's sakes. I mean, do no harm to no one. We see that not only in the religious belief systems worldwide, but we even see that in the not so good aspects too. I mean, even Aleister Crowley himself, the great beast, the one who started the whole satanic renaissance last century, basically said, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, but don't harm anybody." So now I'm not saying that he didn't. Of course, even he wrote about sometimes, doing things that were vile, to say the least, okay, including doing harm to others. So, but that is, the words that they uttered, and people can utter words all day long. It's their deeds that matter. Now, I'm not saying words don't matter, they do, but, always check a person's actions to their words. And if those two things do not mesh together, trust their actions. All right? Now, finally, in the future, things do get better. So if you are listening to somebody, you were betrayed, misled, remember, you made the decision. So if you partook in something that you should have known, regardless, is not good, you were doing harm to another human being, because the people around you were doing it, you wanted to fit in with the Joneses kind of a thing, then you got no reason to cry or whatever, about, the karma that you're suffering right now, because you earned it, okay? But it does see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, okay, for whoever's going through this with Fehu. Now, we saw the god Freyr, and now we see his twin sister, the goddess Freya, show up for the future. Now, anytime you see Freya, think about material gain, abundance, wealth, luck, fertility, creativity, all of those types of things. That's what it basically means, and that is the future. But you still have to take the proper actions if you hope to see those in your life. So, again, we start off with very powerful energy with Algiz in the upright, which is basically giving us the notion that indeed we are protected. We are basically capable of warding off even the evil and so on that means to do us harm, and that we are to awaken, enlighten, and to follow our intuition. Now it says our current state, of course, and that up to the past to present has been something quite the contrary. Somebody is very weak-willed, somebody perhaps suffering from an illness, obsessed, misdirecting all their forces. Somebody was dominated by others, incapacitated with lust and inconsistency and ignorance, brutality, violence, rashness, callousness, all of those types of negative energies. But again, we're seeing that the obstacles and challenges make it very clear that, a lot of this was brought on because we chose to believe in people that were steering us wrong. They don't deserve the respect that you have given to them. Now, this is going to mean different things to different people, of course, but that's what this is telling us. And it says, if you choose to actually do that which is right and actually start taking corrective action in that line, that regard, doing your inner work, and even sometimes having to sacrifice the very people that you shouldn't have to concern yourself with ordinarily, if what we're told is ever true, and it's not. Blood is not thicker than water. Some of the deepest betrayals and some of the most frequently exhibited, at least that I've experienced, are those within your own family. So, and we are expected sometimes to draw the line in the sand and just move on. They've dug their own hole. Now it's up to them to either, dig their way back out of it or not. You can't do the work for them. They have to do their own work, as do you. So that's what it's telling you. For somebody out there, you're not so far gone that you cannot come back from this, but it's going to require effort and work on your side, okay? It's not simply going to just go away, so you can't pretend as though it will. You have to do the work, just like everybody in the collective that I'm talking to out here. We've had to suffer. We've had to go through a lot. We've had to give up people. We've had to give up. I've given up everything I've owned. Not once, but twice. So, and I'm saying that, these are things, these are sacrifices we sometimes have to make in order to do that which is right and actually to be able to get to the other side, of this tunnel, if you will, and see that light that we keep hoping and praying, and yet for sometimes years and years, it's just been out of reach. We've had the faith and it kept us going, but it has been a very difficult journey. It's no different for any of us. And the greater the obstacles, the greater the challenges, the greater the rewards. Keep that in mind too. Now, again, we're not doing it for the rewards. We're doing it for our own edification, our enlightenment, and to be the very best version of ourselves we can be. All the other things are simply icing on the cake. And it's a beautiful reward from the Most High for those who have gone through all of this. It's not easy. And even though you know these things, sometimes you still have relapses, and that's quite all right. And Spirit understands that too. We just have to bounce back from it as quickly as we can and get back on track. That's all I can say, for whoever needs to hear this right now. And I wish you well, whoever you are. And I have some ideas who these people may be in my own personal experience. And for those out there listening, I'm sure you may have, a person or two in your mind that this may fit. So just pray for them. And I will see you all very, very soon. Meanwhile, stay victorious. And in the very distant future, we all meet in Valhalla. Okay? Take care. God bless. Are you going to let me do this or what? God damn it, I hate this fucking